We all have some sort of trauma that has impacted us from when we were these little 4-year-olds who were happy with everything.
There's different ways of talking about this, but a self-fulfilling prophecy or the reticular activation system where you see a red car or you buy a red car and now you see red cars. Essentially, the way that your brain works is that what you believe, you will confirm. You create your own reality. You create your own prison. And for you, it'll be your own personal hell, your own personal reality where everything that you think is true will be true in that reality. You know what I'm saying? And it is powerful. And it is true. It's almost like the law of attraction or manifestation. Like there's some truth to it in the sense that that's what you want to see.
And I want to go back to like the empathy that we were talking about, right? Because I'm actually reading this book. It's about how our souls are infinite and, you know, we go into many lives and lived many lives. But one thing that he was talking about in the book was that empathy and compassion, right? They're very similar, but you can have compassion without empathy.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that that's actually where you first clean up your stuff, get rid of the negative, and start with compassion.
Right.
Because even if you've been wronged by a man or woman or whatever, and you have actual experiences that hurt you, you can have compassion for the situation, for the men and women out there who aren't doing these things that do exist. And then that will grow into empathy once you get there. Yeah. But start with compassion, like realize, and what he said in the book too, that I think, you know, makes a lot of freaking sense to me at least, is imagine every person as a kid, because that's where we all started. Imagine them as a little 4-year-old who, you know, just is playing with some toys and living their life.
Right.
Because everybody started that way.
Right.
Even the serial killers. So, like, everybody started out the same way. And things might have happened, but there is a wounded child in every single person.
Yeah.
Like, even if you had a good childhood, some outside factors could have wounded you besides your home life. But a lot of people struggle with their home life and how certain things were. And we all have some sort of trauma that has impacted us from when we were these little 4-year-olds who were happy with everything, right? So if you look at the person that you're upset with and you realize that, you know, they were once a child and, you know, they got hurt. And instead of learning how to sort through all that stuff, they're spewing it all over everybody and they seem like they're stuck in this cycle. You will have some compassion for them.
Yeah.
In some sort of way, you can find a way to have compassion for the person.
Right.
And at the end of the day, again, like, I'm reading this book and I enjoy it because I feel like it does help perpetuate the love that we should have for everybody. At the end of the day, we're all human, right? We all have that in common.
Right.
And if you are more spiritual, he would go on to say that we're all part of the collective consciousness or the oneness, right? Like, we all stem from that.
Right.
And when you think about it that way, you are able to empathize with the person that you're upset with or the people you're upset with, right? And you can even look back in your own life and be like, oh, this bad thing happened to me. And I could have stayed on this path and became angry like this person.
Right.
But I chose to do this and heal, and now I'm here. But they got stuck. They chose that path, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't choose another path to get off of that angry path that you're on. And I think that's what this whole episode, I guess, has turned into, is how to get off of that path and to how to be a better person and how to treat people better, even if you don't agree with them or even if they've hurt you.
Yeah, because everyone's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Everyone has a struggle that you know nothing about. And it's also just a matter of the perspective shift, like you're saying. I mean, you can view people as a child, but and you could be in that same exact situation. But, you know, I think that it's both men and women, right? It's you know, and it's almost like
both. It's definitely both.
And there's also this thing where there's there's different ways of talking about this, but a self-fulfilling prophecy or the reticular activation system where you see a red car or you buy a red car and now you see red cars everywhere, this particular brand. But essentially the way that your brain works is that what you believe you will confirm. Right, in your reality.
Right.
So,
because you're looking, even if you're not consciously looking for it, you will pay more attention to that. Like you said with the red car thing, it's like you don't have to have it on the top of your mind, but because you feel that way and because it's something you're struggling with at that moment, you will naturally gravitate towards that topic or subject.
And so you have the ability to create your own hell, right, on earth. Because if you, as a man, think women are horrible and they do all these things, you will see that everywhere.
Right.
And when you interact with women, they will be like that. And you will, right? And the same thing as a woman, if you think these things about men, negative things, you're going to find all those men.
Well,
and you're going to see
feel
all
like
those men
goes
everywhere.
even further depending on how bad you are, right? Like, I think that you might not even see women or men being bad, but you'll assume it. You'll twist the situation into something that it's totally not. Yeah. And you'll just assume like this horrible thing, even though you didn't even see it actually happen. Exactly. But because you're so far in that, you're actually even twisting reality to fit your agenda at that point too.
You're going to get what exactly what you want out of life. It's exactly what you want. You create your own reality. You create your own prison. And for you, it'll be your own personal hell, your own personal reality where everything that you think is true will be true in that reality. You know what I'm saying? And it is powerful. And it is true. It's almost like the law of attraction or manifestation. Right. Like there's some truth to it in the sense that that's what you want to see.
That's why too, it starts inside you.
Yeah.
And I know we've done a lot of episodes where, especially talking about men, that it has to start inside of you. Like you have to work on yourself first. And it's cliche. Everybody says that sort of stuff, but it really is the key to making any of your relationships work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you saw me, well, like you didn't even see how I used to be before you.
I know. Yeah.
I personally too was like a very reactive, typical emotional woman sort of thing. Like, I could be mean and you didn't really see that side of me because you helped inspire me to be better and make me want to be better than I already had done a lot of work, I felt like. And then you came along and then it's just going up from here. But like I would sometimes get really frustrated with my mom, even like that you would see. But I feel like all of the things that I've learned and we've learned together that doesn't even happen as much as it did before. And so it's like you can get there. And a lot of people get overwhelmed and they're like, oh, that's going to be so much work and I can't do that. But the peace that you feel within yourself, you transmit that to everybody around you and everything around you. And then people will gravitate towards you rather than be repelled by you. When you have that anger and you have that like hostility inside of you and resentment or bitterness or whatever you have.
What you attract.
Right.